You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Hey, you're listening to Adulting with Horses, the best place to be if you can't be at the barn. We are your co-hosts and equine authors, Heather Wallace and Natalie Keller Reinert. As crazy horse girls, we don't take ourselves too seriously in the saddle or out. We celebrate the things that make us different. Join us as we talk about horses and pop culture and get a little weird in a fun way. Thank you for being a little weird with us. Okay, are you ready, Natalie?
Am I ready? I haven't been ready for anything in a really long time.
Okay, well, get ready because this was your idea. We're
was.
going to run a series, like once a month, of bonus episodes entitled Adulting with Horses, The Book Barn, where you and I kind of address horses and books, right?
Yeah.
We do this thing where we write books. So
We do this thing where we write books.
Yeah.
It's like a job.
I don't know if we talk about that very often, but it's true.
We're going to talk about it more right now in
Once
Book
a month,
Barn.
special episode coming at you. And so for the first episode, we're coming about when real horses inspire fiction, right? So that's kind of the theme we're going to go on. And if we get ADHD Heather involved, just bring me back there. Okay.
I'll try because we want to make this snappy, right?
Exactly.
It's something people ask literally all the time. And now I get messages a lot like with pictures of horses, like, did this horse inspire Dynamo in the eventing series, Mickey in the eventing series, all these horses in all my different series? People are like, was this a real horse? Did you write about a real horse? And the short answer is usually no.
The people really want to know, though, like the background and like what
they do.
inspires us. So, like, where do you get your inspiration from then? Is it like an amalgamation of horses you've met?
It's an amalgamation because I'll be writing and I'll need a horse and my fingers will still on the keyboard. My gaze goes up, almost like I'm looking into my brain, like, brain, help, I need something. And my brain will sort of run a randomizer. That's what I picture is happening.
And it's just going to flip through.
Yeah. And that my computer's not on Do Not Disturb, but it is now. It'll just go. It'll make that noise like the Long Island Railroad like train board makes, where clack 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 clack, and then it spits out a horse, and the horse is almost always gray, and I'm like, no, I have already written so many gray horses, and that's like. People are like, well, did one of your horses inspire this gray horse or that gray horse? Like, I've never had a gray horse in my entire life. They just that's like the hero horse, and that's what comes into my brain.
So flashy.
It is, and I guess it's like a childhood dream. You know, you want the gray horse with the black points.
Absolutely.
Like
that was my dream.
That was the dream. For that like 6 months where they look perfect and then they fade out. And
and then the reality, obviously, if anyone in horses knows that they become brown and green, and it's utterly impossible to keep them clean. So there's nothing romantic and fantasy about that.
No, absolutely not. That's why I try to keep it down to one. Like in my new book, absolutely the horse in my book that's coming out next year, The Jump. There's a mare, and she's a bay. She's like a lovely mahogany bay in the book. But in my head, she's gray because she really wanted to be a gray mare.
That's hilarious, actually.
I know.
That's actually a really fun point that, like, most people won't know. Like, so fun fact about Natalie's new book is, like, she says bay, but really insert gray.
I really could not do a second book right on the heels of a eventing series with another gray champion horse. Like, I cannot be a victim of like my own personal phobias in that way.
Typecast your own horses.
Exactly. I'm the one who speaks out against typecasting horses. It's all the same. And I was going to do it. But she just, she wanted to be like a 14-3 hand, like dapple gray trouble mare. And I did know a 14-3 hand dapple gray trouble mare. Her name was Bird. And she lived in an eventing barn when I was a teenager. My crazy barn that I've talked about on the podcast before, where it was just teenagers running wild. And she was kind of funny because she would jump out of her stall, but then she would jump back in. Like, she was chaotic in the extreme.
I don't at all associate with this mare.
She's like, I wasn't out of my stall. I was inside the whole time.
So,
very
but she
athletic.
didn't inspire the character.
She kind of like, I feel like mentally my brain picked on that horse when I was coming up with the horse for this book. Like just a really lovely, small, compact thoroughbred mare with a big opinion about herself and bigger opinions about others. Like, just...
Well, I think that's really true about a lot of things, right? Like, it could spark an idea, right? Like, so inspiration can spark an entire idea, but it doesn't mean that it's based on that horse, right?
Right. I mean, I feel like that's a complicated thing to sit and... Like, horses do have big personalities, but you and I have been around a lot of horses in our life, and to sit and go, what are the attributes of this horse? Unless that's a specific thing you wanted to write, where you specifically set out to memorialize or immortalize a horse that you particularly love or have loved.
So thank you for that segue, because I actually fucking did that. So, well, the idea is like, I'd always written nonfiction, and when Delight came back into my life, that's my heart horse for anybody who doesn't know or is just joining. He had a crazy story, and I wanted to tell his story because he matters to me. And so I actually wrote him as a character in Backdoor Horse in the Green Mountain series, because I thought it was really important that he have like a voice where he didn't have a voice before. And so the Bold Fortune is the name of the character. Fortune is literally my horse. Like, there were times where I was writing and I would write Delight and I would have to go back and correct it. Because he was so vibrantly in my brain talking to me and being like, you need to write this. No, you need this to happen. And blah, blah, blah. And so for me, I mean, the other horses didn't exist. Like, so the other horses in the books were based off of just ideas. Like, there was no other horse that inspired them. I was just like, oh, I think a Mustang really sounds like a good fit here. And then I just made up a Mustang.
Yeah, I think, that's a great point about the fit piece, because the horses that fit us don't necessarily fit our characters.
Right.
And they don't necessarily fit the situations that our characters are in. I haven't written a book with a good spot for Ben, for example. I haven't written an amateur novel. I haven't written an amateur novel about having a goober 14-hand quarter horse that, like, whinnies every time he sees me, but randomly bucks me off. It just hasn't come up.
I'll be honest, though, Manny needs a role. Like, Manny needs to be told.
Manny, yeah, and Manny does have, he has a good backstory, but some of his backstory is not true, because my vet, like, took a look at some of the things that were told to me about him, and she was like, these things did not happen and does not exist. So that was kind of funny.
Mystery.
He's just another horse. What can you say? But I did put a miniature horse companion into the Briar Hill Farm series, which they were only on sale for a very brief period of time, and then they were taken off sale, and they're coming out again, like, starting late next year, I think. We don't have a date yet. So he will have his day, because what I can do is expand that miniature horse a little more to make him a little more Manny-esque, because I know Manny better now than I did
when I wrote the series.
When I first wrote that. Yeah, like, look at the things Manny can do. He can touch a target now for a click. I wouldn't have believed Manny could do that 2 years ago.
For having a smooth brain, he used that one brain cell in order to get that trait.
He found the groove. That one brain groove. It's in there. I'm excited for him. Who knows what else he can do?
No, I think it's fun. I think that's the difference too. Like, we're horse people, so it just makes sense for us to write horse books, right? Like, horses are a major influence in our books. So it would stand to reason that, I mean, I can't speak for all authors, but I know a lot of people, they write books based upon. So it's like when you watch a movie and it says based on the series by. Like, it's not exactly it, but it might be based upon it. I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, Delight had to happen. But in the other books, he's not going to be in them, right? Like, I'm just going to make them up.
I think some authors are able to engage really strongly with things they're interested in that they don't make their entire lives. I personally...
I don't associate with that at all.
Yeah, that's not relatable to me. If I like something, then it has to consume at least like 70% of my personality, and I have to like physically have my hands on it. So that's why I mostly write about horses and theme parks, because those are the things I like the best.
Right. Well,
but some people be like, yeah. I see some people, they're like, well, I wanted to write a book about like, hockey in Argentina, so I did. And I'm like, well, how do you connect with hockey in Argentina? And they're like, well, I just thought it'd be interesting. What?
Yeah,
how?
Like, what, do you have to research it? Like, I'm sorry, I gotta live with it.
Exactly. If I had to research things, okay, I've been researching a book about Hollywood and animation for like years.
Right.
Like I have highlighted books with tabs piled up.
That's a lot of work.
Just sitting around. Yeah. And I've written a very basic sort of veneer, like a base coat, not a veneer, that's the top, like the base of what this book might be someday. But it's going to need so much more research. I'll basically be an animator before I feel like I'm comfortable with this book. Like I will be making cartoons and putting them up on YouTube. You're like, wow, Natalie, that took a turn. I'm like, yeah. That's my brain.
It's not like we're writing thrillers and like murder mysteries and having to research that, right? Like, but at the same time, we write what we know. And then I will say I get inspiration from real life. Like something funny will happen or something cute will happen or something sweet will happen. I'll be like, oh, that reminds me of something. Oh, maybe I should do this. And then I come up with ideas for like future books that have not yet been written. But research sounds tedious.
Yeah, my research fiction often consists of going out and doing a ride IQ lesson. That's great research. Because even if I don't do everything in the lesson, I'm listening to an Olympic level coach like go through their training technique while I'm riding. So that's a brain train right there. And then watching cross country videos. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that kind of research. I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'll watch Kentucky again, and I watch cross country.
Yeah, that's totally doable. I think, like if you're going to write about racehorses, you should go to races, right?
Well, that's how I ended up like becoming an exercise rider. I was writing the story that racehorses were really a huge piece of it. I'd never ridden at the track, and I felt like I was missing this whole chunk of my education, and so I ended up going and doing it and filling in that gap. I didn't feel like I could do it without doing it.
And that's not book research. That's literally, you're living it. You're getting that kind of inclusive kind of, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Experience, right? So I think that's what makes your book so smart and relatable and honestly really true.
You don't read my books. Don't lie.
I've read one of the books. I really liked it because the character was a lot like me. But anyway, you did too. You look for you in the books.
You're coming off of reviews. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Smart, relatable.
I am coming off, but I'm also coming off of based on your readers that you read. Like, so your readers love how true and realistic your books are. And I think that's what makes them so, well, one of the reasons they're so accessible. And I think, I can't speak for the fiction so much because I'm still really new at that. But like one of the things that people tell me with the nonfiction is how authentic, how honest, how relatable my books are. And it's really important to me to connect with my readers that way. So I think it's just a really cool thing to be an author in that way and to share. But like we're living what we write in some ways, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's like just it's really pure authenticity.
Yeah.
Is what we're trying to provide. We're just documenting in some ways. And then, you like you said, my eyes roll back in my head and I say, brain, I need something right here. And it's like, this happened to you once. Like, oh, God, it did. All right, we're going to smooth those edges a little bit, but we'll use it. Maybe
we can just re-gift this in a nicer packaging.
Yeah, you guys don't want to read the whole truth. Or I'm not up to writing it yet, maybe.
I'm not volunteering to ghostwrite it for you either, because like I've done that once and it is really hard.
Yeah. You're like, I'm authentic as another human now. Yay! I've been two people.
Listen, anybody who's met me in person and probably is like, oh yeah, she can have multiple personalities. I see that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, I have the quiet side, and then I have this side, which is the side most people see. But yeah, so was there any? I mean, I'm not like interviewing you here, but I'm curious. Was there any time that you did write like a real horse into your books, or has it just been completely kind of just loosely based?
The one that comes to mind is the filly in Other People's Horses was based specifically on a horse I had seen at Aqueduct. And so in Other People's Horses, there's a filly she's a chestnut with a really funny like blaze with a big chestnut spot in the middle of it. And she was in like poor condition or something. I don't even remember how poorly I wrote her condition in it. It might not have been as bad as what I saw, but it was a horse that sort of, I saw her and I was like, oh, I really wish that I could help this horse. She was in a bad place. And she was the inspiration for, the filly in Other People's Horses. She's the titular Other People's Horse, if you will. So there was that one. And then, sometimes side horses will be something that I saw. Like there's a horse in Pride. No, there's a mention of a horse in Pride that was based on somebody who was trying really hard to event a gypsy vanner and not succeeding.
Like the fluffy eventer.
Yeah, like if the fluffy eventer had been unsuccessful, like, and then in one of the Briar Hill Farm books, there is the trainer that comes to visit in the second book, Friends with Horses, and her horse was based on somebody that I dealt with when I was like 19. That was just like, she came to stay in Florida for the winter, and she brought an incredibly rude Lipizzan stallion, and she was just the worst. Her horse was the worst.
Well, it makes sense that her horse would kind of mirror her. I find that, we had an incident this might actually have to go into a book. We had an incident the other day where I rolled up to a barn to do a saddle fit evaluation, and the barn owner was at the hospital because the 3-week-old filly spooked, tangled up with the owner and the wheelbarrow, and then the owner, trying to protect the foal, tore her Achilles tendon.
Oh my God.
But she'd been telling me for weeks how this foal was a problem because the mare never, ever disciplined her.
Oh, wow.
And she just let her get away with murder. So she's like, she's going to be a handful. And then she sends her to the hospital to a freak accident. I'm like, that is so, you can't make that up. That's awesome.
No. Well, that's like a bunch of the stuff in Courage specifically, which is the third book in the Eventing series. That book could have been like several chapters of my memoir. Just like Natalie's worst year. And the injury that happens to Pete's mare that happened to me. Completely happened to my mare. Have out a specialist farrier. We're taking photos to send these to a textbook publisher kind of injury. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really, really, really bad. That book is hard for me to read because it was so many bad things happened to me that I just put straight into that book to get rid of them, I guess.
It's like a catharsis. Yeah, you're like, if I write about it, it's someone else's problem now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's all y'all's problem now.
Yeah.
The one thing I try really hard not to do, I don't write a lot of colics into my books because
I wish that on anybody.
Well, I don't wish that on anybody, and I haven't had a huge. My first horse died of air quotes colics, but I don't think it was actually colic. And then it was colic, like abdominal issues, but whatever. It was a whole thing. And then I have like a new rule. Like my first book, a horse died, and not like a huge major player, but it was just like an inciting incident for the book. And you don't have time to get attached to the horse or anything. And I just said,
opening of Yellowstone, it just like ruins you from the beginning.
Yeah, you just get it over with, peel that Band-Aid off and move on. It won't be as bad after this. But I won't kill any more horses in books because we just don't need, we have enough trouble with dead horses in this world. Horses are always dying of stupid things. So if somebody's like, wow, your horse got off light, I'll be like, good. May we all be so lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to some of these, like, I mean, even when you were like alpha reviewing Backdoor Horse, there was the scene in the beginning where she tries to avoid a moose. And she and the dog get into a car accident, and you're like, please tell everybody this dog is alive right away.
Exactly.
We don't need that.
Exactly. Like, I really want to make a pledge to readers, like, right now, like, my animals are important, and they are characters, and I draw the line at damaging them. They can get hurt in pasture incidents, but that's about the extent of it.
I will never kill I mean, never is too strong of a word, but I will never kill an animal in any of my books. Because, I mean, obviously nonfiction aside, but hopefully that never happens. But in any of my fiction books, because that is the one thing that is going to break me. Like, I cry at the ASPCA commercials.
Yeah.
I will lose my shit on the television. We were watching an episode of a TV show, and there was a lost dog who could not find his home. I had to turn it off and walk away. I couldn't do it.
There is I mean, and I think that's more common, like, as the general consensus is, like, we don't want to see any forms of unhappy animals in entertainment media. We can't take it. There is one line in Ann Tyler's book, French Braid. There's one line about a cat that just, it's a gut punch every time I think about it. And nothing too terrible. Like, I'll just say right now, fast forward 15 seconds if you don't want to know, like, have this tiny bit of French Braid spoiled for you. It's a decent book except for this, which is that she takes the cat to the animal shelter. And the cat is, like, surprised by this. And I just hated it so much. I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever read in my entire life. Like, just, I'm so angry that she took this cat to the animal shelter and the cat was confused. Damn it, Anne. Damn it. I'm never going to be the same from this line, which is probably throwaway to her. Like, maybe she doesn't have a cat, you know, but I'll never get over it. So I'm just not doing that to people.
That part. Like, I would have shut the book and walked away. And
it's messed up.
Well, and that being said, I guess I should put a little caveat, because in Welcome to Woodhaven, which is book 3 of my Green Mountain Romance series, I do open it. There is like a hoarder, like an animal hoarder in the book. Okay. But I will say right now, one, I put a note in the beginning saying that there is hoarding, but there is no, like, details. Like, it's just important for the plot. But, like, it's a heartwarming situation from, you know, where she saves this horse. But I kind of wanted to also to shout out to some of my friends who work in the business where they do take in these animals for sanctuary, because there's so many cases where people do mistreat animals, and I don't think enough people are talking about, like, the other side of things, and, like, the people who are the caregivers and are always fundraising and things like that. So
I'm writing a novel about that. So funny that you should say that.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. So, like, I talked about it because it was important for me, because also those were the people who helped me save Delight. So I felt like it was like a really full circle moment where, you know, the sanctuary is actually what ended up saving him. So of course the main character is going to sanctuary, right? So, like, it just makes sense to me. And again, the first 3 books, it's a love story between humans, but I was also telling this horse's story. So it was really important. So, but I promise, like, you know, that the people get what they deserve. Okay.
Yeah. I love that. No, it's the work that I'm working on right now. Then you can read some of it at Patreon, but it's, like, going to be completely different in years and years when I'm done with it, because it's really complicated. But I think it's really interesting when you write about rescue too, is that you end up with a lot of animals.
Yeah.
And it would take a really long time to go, and I knew this horse and I'll put him here, and I know this dog and I'll put him here, you know, that kind of thing. And yet it's very easy for me to picture, like, right now I haven't worked on it in a week. I'm doing something else now, but I can picture every single horse in it and what their name is and what their personality is. And I just plucked them, you know, as I was writing.
Sure.
I was like, your name's Pirate. Your name's Galahad. Your name is Miss Annie. Just go, 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 go as I'm writing. And I can see all of them and know exactly who they are. I guess because I've just known so many horses.
Well, I actually think that's a really important point. So, like, do you know there's some people out there who don't actually see images in their head?
I've heard this. Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
I don't think we could be authors without being able to see it. Like, I don't
know.
Yeah, I always say it's like watching a movie in my head and I'm just writing it down.
Maybe people who can't, like, rely really hard on, like, mood boards and stuff, because some people say, like, I don't really see people very well. So some people say, like, oh, I need character art and I need to know what my characters look like. And I'm like, they're just, she's a white chick. Her hair is whatever. Like, I don't even think about it. They're just people.
But they're not important.
They're really, to me, their looks are like so. I know what they're wearing usually, but everything else about them is kind of like, eh. I think I've written entire books where I didn't, like, mention somebody's hair color or something.
But I think that's good because then your reader can actually, we briefly touched on this, like, your reader can insert themselves as the main character. They can put themselves in like a choose your own adventure kind of place when you do that.
It's funny. I do find it a little tiresome. Some authors do very specifically, like in the first opening paragraphs, they will describe exactly what people look like and what they're wearing, and they'll do it like with multiple characters. And I'm like, okay, we get it. You know who your characters are. But if you don't tell me like what color and sort of breed shape and sort of conformation a horse is immediately, I'm going to wonder. Right. I'll be like, you're just going to say she was standing near a horse? Tell me more. What kind of horse are we talking here?
Well, that's your horse crazy. And that's the priority for us. Well, it was funny
the priority.
Because I put the dog in my books, Cookie. I made like a brindle pit bull. And at that point, I didn't have my dog, who is actually, he's a fawn, but he's a pit bull. And people are like, oh, did you write your own dog? I'm like, no, I didn't write her at all into my life. But I somehow got him anyway. Like, it was weird because he's almost the same personality. But, I think I mentioned, like, dark hair and blue eyes for Gabe and, like, red hair. I don't even think I mentioned eye color for Imogen. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Something I think about a lot, too, is I don't tend to notice people's eye color or eyes literally at all, ever. Like, I think about this a lot. And it's like, I watch TV, which is where I see most strangers. Let's be real. And you can't even see people's eyes. But people in books are always like, their eyes had a gray circle around like flecks of yellow. I'm like, what? How do you even see that? How close are you to this person?
And you're actually looking them in the eyes? Because, like, I don't make eye contact with people. Like, I'll look at your nose the whole time that we're speaking. But I actually did, because I'm insanely attracted to, like, dark features and light eyes. Like, I think it's, like, insane. So
those are terrifying.
No, I love it. So, for you've got like a blonde ginger there. But I thought, for Imogen, I didn't even put body type. I just put short, tall, right?
Yeah.
Like, one short, one tall. So I purposely made it vague because what she looked like wasn't really as important as her personality.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
To me, anyway. Other people may disagree, but that's, you read my books because you like the way I write, or you don't, either way. But I'm not gonna. There's a lot of people out there who will write like plus size fiction. Like, it's just all their main characters are plus size, or all their men are like the mobsters or whatever. It's like, you do you. Everyone's different. I would like to write with horses and animals in my books.
Yeah, I think most people are just like, I don't know, some version of me. I guess I don't know. I don't really think about it. Just a horse girl. Just whatever. It's so funny too.
Writing books.
Narrators, when they look for a narrator for my audiobooks, they're like, do you have any accents? I'm like, no, nobody's got any accents, because they're just like me and I don't have an accent. I'm just writing.
That's very relatable.
Writing different versions of myself over and over again.
Well, in a way, that's why we don't need therapy, right? Because we're working out our shit on paper.
Yeah, I probably still need therapy, but I'm afraid I'll lose all my material.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I think you have plenty of trauma. But I will say too, as a writer, I joke about the multiple personalities, but that's it. Every character in our books is a version of us, right? Because it's all started in imagination.
It all started with our imagination.
Exactly.
Not a mouse.
Where'd the mouse come from?
It's a Disney thing.
Oh, you're such a Disney freak.
A lot of our listeners are Disney freaks, I'll have you know.
Okay, well...
The horse girl, Disney girl overlap is massive.
I'm telling you. I think it's because everybody's neurodivergent, but that's just me. And,
nope.
You know, I'm just
It
gonna...
is. Yep.
Yeah. It's actually funny. We got a lot of feedback. Okay, so we should probably end it here for the first ever bonus episode of the book barn.
The book barn.
So this will be coming out, the second Friday of every month, assuming we could keep our little... What?
You're so strict. Such a strict podcast.
I know.
So many rules.
I know. And you like it.
I love it.
Well, and then I think we're also going to do another bonus episode on the fourth Friday of every month. But that one is going to relate to bodywork and saddle fit. So stay tuned, everybody. And then our regularly scheduled program, as you know it, will be the first and third Fridays as usual. So nothing's going to change there.
Just more.
Just more of us. Can't you wait?
Yay.
So exciting.
Thank you for being a little weird with us, horse girls. If you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your player of choice. Follow us on Instagram at Adulting with Horses Podcast, or even better, join our Adulting with Horses Clubhouse on Facebook, where you can become part of the show. Also, it's a great place to meet other horse crazy women. Thanks, and see you next time.